Hey guys, so we did a post about porn and it created a lot of confusion, a lot of questions in our DMs. In fact, we got a little overwhelmed. And what we realized is this is a very hot topic. When you start talking about porn and marriage, it's a hot topic. There's a lot of people that have very hard stances on this topic, and some that are off a little bit. And so I wanted to bring some truth and some clarity. We get the spectrum of comments like, if I ever catch my spouse watching porn, I'm leaving his dead ass. To, I've heard comments, my therapist told me that porn is absolutely okay and helps create sexual energy in a relationship. What I'd like to do is I want to talk to you guys about your largest sex organ. Okay? So I want to bring some truth. What is your largest sex organ? Your largest sex organ is your brain. And so let's talk about what porn does to your brain. When we create habits in our lives, we create neural pathways. Okay? These neural pathways are like almost like grooves where when we're just doing life, it's easy to fall into those grooves, right? If you are consistent with the morning routine, some mornings you don't even have to wake up and remember, like, what am I supposed to do next? It's just a routine. It's a deep neural pathway. Well, what happens is with porn, specifically masturbation tied to porn, we are creating a neural pathway in our brain to say, this is what lights me up sexually. And then when you masturbate to completion, you're actually training your body that when I see images in like these images, this is what's going to carry my body to complete, to completion. And that right there is interesting, because when you think about that, okay, well, what are you filling your mind with to bring your body to orgasm? Well, you're filling your body with images, okay? Let's talk about these images. They're fantasy. They're actors. These people are paid for a show. And so what happens is we begin to actually teach our body, in order for me to orgasm, I need to be participating in a fantasy. Now here's where it interrupts intimate relationships. If you are now caught up in this fantasy life, living this fantasy life, when you walk into your bedroom with your partner, that person will never live up to the fantasy that you've taught your brain to orgasm to. And so fantasy is, you think about it, whatever you want, whatever kind of pleasure you want, how old, how young, how many, whatever it is, it can be lived out in porn. But the problem is that interrupts partner sex, because your body's now said masturbation is easier to orgasm than to have sex with my partner. And this is why we see an incredible rise in erectile dysfunction in partner sex. We have 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, men that are in their sexual prime, having issues with erectile dysfunction. And a majority of those cases are tied directly to porn usage. And so we really have to just take a look. Is porn healthy for relationships? Is porn going to help us achieve a more satisfying relationship? And I will tell you the answer is no. The answer is no. Let me talk about another thing. When you get married, I got married at 24. Megan was 20, okay? And over the past 20 years, we have grown up together. We have aged together, okay? Now, it's pretty obvious I'm not married to a 20-year-old any longer. But when viewing porn of someone that's younger, like that young, and then I walk into the bedroom, now your brain is playing the comparison game. Well, the people I see on these videos, they don't have any wrinkles. They don't have any, gray spots. Their body is very good looking, right? And then I look at my partner, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, gosh, they didn't age like that I wanted to. And we play this comparison game, and it's really, really dangerous. Because now your partner, again, is never going to live up to, you can't erase 20 years off their body after they've had children. Okay? Then, let me do another topic. When is it enough? When I've talked to many men that have been involved in porn and addictions to porn, it never is enough. It's never enough. And they can fuel their sexual appetite using porn, and porn keeps becoming more and more stimulating to them, that when they get into the bedroom, it's not enough in the bedroom. And that's why we're hearing stories about a lot of men that are not sexual pursuers of their wives because of porn usage. And then the last thing I want to say is, because it's never enough with porn, it will also create more and more deviant behavior and sexual behavior. So that there is now more of a control, it gets a little bit more darker. I'll let you use imagination on that one. But the more and more porn is used, the more and more deviant it has to become to create the same level of stimulation. It's just like any kind of drug. Seriously, guys, it is like any kind of drug. Everybody probably remembers their first beer, right? You felt high and just loose after your first beer. Well, if you continue to drink regularly, that first beer is not going to do anything for you because your body's built tolerance into it. And now you need 2, 3, 4, and it just keeps going. So let me just end with this. Your heart was made for connection and made for relationship. And sex inside of a relationship is what actually brings meaningfulness to sex. So we have to kind of make a dividing line. Is sex about me experiencing pleasure in the bedroom? Or is it about us connecting? Is it about us actually sharing this together? Is it about us growing together, growing old together, knowing that our body changes, but that we're connected? Because I will tell you this right now, having talked to so many couples, hearing these stories, sex devoid of a relationship is nothing more than two people rubbing their genitals together until somebody orgasms. And once that's done, it's done. And if that's how cheap sex is that how cheap sex is? Then we've lost our sense of standards. Because sex inside of a relationship is so deep and meaningful that it connects us like no other. In fact, it releases that oxytocin, which is the hormone created for bonding. So, if anything, sex is like the beer goggles for marriage. It's like, yes, I love you. I feel bonded to you. So, I just wanted to kind of bring some truth to the post that we had today about porn, and knowing it's a heated topic. But please remember that your largest sex organ is your brain, and what porn does to your brain is so damaging that it ruins relationships. And if anything, we hear the frontline stories of all of the marriages, all of the relationships that have been ruined because porn was such an issue. Okay? All right. See you guys later.